Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome to a video in the gorgeous Sulani. So, of course, The Sims 4 Island Living came out yesterday, and I will admit, I was tired and I slacked off, and I did not wait until midnight to download it. I waited until 5 o'clock the next day, or well, I guess the same day because midnight is the next day. But anyway, to get off work and then download it. But then don't worry. I spent, oh gosh, how many hours was it now? I'm forgetting. I think it was 2 and 15 minutes, 2.5 hours on this build because, so while everyone was hyping Island Living and being like, mermaids, like, woo, and like previewing houses and looking at all the stuff, I was like plotting. No, I wasn't. I'm kidding. I've been working on a list of like builds I want to do in The Sims, and of course, some of them that I've come up with, I'm like, well, I have to wait for Island Living for that one because if I do it sooner, then I'm just going to want to redo it later. And one of those was a boat store because, of course, with Island Living, we get open freaking water and we get boats of various kinds and jet skis, aqua zips. And floats and all these things, and so I wanted to build a boat store. And this is actually more of it's a boat store slash I don't want to say beachwear store, but kind of like a beachwear store, but not janky. Like, you go into like a typical beachwear store, and like I don't know what what you guys have going on in your beachy areas or beaches you've been to or anything like that. But here, I live on a beach, and we have like eagles and wings and like any noun plus like that's been pluralized possible to be a beachwear store, and they're all just pretty janky. It's just like $10 beach towels, and the beach towels are like paper thin, or it's like 2-for-1 bikinis, and the bikinis like become one with your skin and just like itch and like all this stuff. I don't know. And then like all those cheap beach toys and things, and like sketchy hermit crabs and turtles and all that stuff. But anyway, I wanted it to be not like that. And so I did not build that. I did not build a box beachwear store with all the like cheap stuff that's been imported from all over the world and weird deals and sketchy people. I built an island boat store that's got you covered for all of your beach needs. And so, of course, there's a boat dock on the back with boats that you can purchase. I wanted to also have another dock, and maybe you saw this in the beginning, I don't know, where I was going to put aqua zips too, but I guess you can't have the aqua zips pulled as close to the shore as you can the boats. And so let me put the boats up here on this little dock. I couldn't put the aqua zips in water that shallow. And it's the same thing too. I wanted to have ladders on the sides of the dock, so it's like if you were going to buy a boat, you can like climb down the ladder and preview the boat and all this stuff. But the ladders seem to need pretty deep water too, so I didn't get to include those. This was really fun for me. I was just like going ham. I was using debug, and I was using kind of everything from Island Living. I don't know, maybe you'll notice that like there are a couple times where all I do is I sort every object in the game to just Island Living, and I'm just using those. And that's because I knew a decent amount of the things that were coming with this pack as far as like build buy mode, but I didn't really watch anyone's like review of it. So everything I knew we had was from trailers and preview stills, and that's kind of it. I didn't watch anyone, where people go and they outline, they're like, here's every single thing that came with the pack, and here's every swatch, and like all this stuff. I didn't watch any of those for build buy mode, for create a sim, for anything. So this was like my first experience with it, and I was so excited. I did have some trouble with the silt foundations at first because they were being funky, but you know what? It's okay. But then I just dove in, and I don't know. I feel like the more I worked on this, I had so many ideas because I didn't want this to be a massive building, because I feel like some like island family owns it, or some like one island person owns it and they've had it forever kind of thing. So I was trying to keep the building small, but the experience cool and the functionality, I guess. Like I wanted there to be a lot of things to buy. So you'll notice I build the actual structure, and then there's a lot of open beach. But then I end up putting out displays for like a patio type setup, or for the beach towels, because the beach towels and the floats were the death of me. because it would have been so cool if I could have hung the pizza float on the wall as a display for people to buy. But obviously, that's not how that works. You can't just rotate things up and down in The Sims, or I'm sure we'd be doing a lot more crazy stuff than we already do. And so I had to put the beach towels outside, and then I don't think it even let me put them for sale. So maybe if you download this and you want your Sims to buy a beach towel from here, you'll have to do some tricky things. But I did at the end include one of those vending machines on the side so that Sims can buy things out of the vending machine just for anything that I couldn't include, or like different variations of things, because obviously there's swatches. Like I have three pool floats in the thing in the side of the store. But obviously, there's a lot more and a lot more swatches and things. And of course, when you play with the store, if you have someone own it, then you can have them switching out products and things. But just for the sake of how it was as is, that was kind of what I was thinking with the vending machine. I had seating areas. I tried to do a lot of clutter because I imagine this, it's not a corporate thing, so it's nice, but it also has like, I don't want, lived in isn't the right word. Oh, like a personality. Like no one's like, oh, this needs to look exactly like this because our demographic and like all these like corporate terms. Like it's just like they want their island vibe, they want their beach look, and they want it to be authentic, and it is authentic. So I was like, oh, I'll put a seating area here, and maybe there's like fishing nets strewn about here, and maybe there's this. And my favorite thing that I did is when I was finishing the build, I turned it to nighttime to see kind of how dark everything would be. And it was pretty dark, and I put lights around places, but then I was like, oh my gosh, time has come. And I used the flip flop string lights that we got in the holiday update last year, and I put them like around everywhere. And they really make it like fun, give it that kind of tiki hot bar vibe because it's just string lights and things, but it's still a fun store. And you know what, too? I could have sworn we had some kind of wall decor that was like a surfboard that you hung on the wall. I spent a while looking for those, and they don't exist. So there's that. And oh, I just have so much to say. I had so much fun building this, and I don't build a lot of stores, but of the stores I've built, this is definitely my favorite. And this moment that we're at right here is probably, I don't know, it's so hard to decide, but this is one of my favorite things that I did in this store. So I decided I was going to do a display for the pool floats, or for a pool float, specifically the whale or dolphin or whatever it is one. And so there's this sandy mess build by thing. I think it's that you dig in it. I don't know. But I was like, I meant hidden object, my bad. And so I was like, okay, I'll make a beach moment here. I was going to use a kiddie pool, as you'll see me try to do, to be like a water area that the pool float could float in, but it just didn't fit. Like one, the kiddie pool didn't look great, and then the pool floats didn't fit, and I didn't want to scale down the pool floats, and I couldn't scale up the kiddie pool without it looking crazy. So I just ended up sitting the pool float in the sand. But I created this like elaborate store display. It's not a window display because it's not in a window, but that kind of thing with the sand and the pool float. And I put the what is it? The bar back item and like lights and like all this stuff. And oh, I love it. It's just like this little captured beach moment as a display for the store. And then I used pedestals to display two other beach floats to buy. And then I had like, you'll see it in a moment, but when I wanted to put mannequins in here with some of the new clothes, and I'll admit I didn't get too crazy creative with creating the outfits or anything. And you won't see those. You'll see them in the screenshots, but you won't see them in here because obviously I had to bring a sim in and have her by the store and then go in and create the mannequin outfit. So when I place them in here in the speed build, they're just the plain mannequins. But I did like this whole like Old Navy moment where when Old Navy changes seasons and they always have that display right when you walk in the store, at least they do here, where it's like 10 mannequins of various genders and ages, and then there's always like a dog in whatever their new apparel is. And so I just did a family. I did one of the male sims, female sims, and then a little girl, little boy sim with the different things. And I used these dividers, and oh my god, I was gonna leave the whole thing open floor, and then I was like, oh, I need somewhere to put my mannequins, and I did that. No regrets, because then I made another display on the other side. Because okay, so I will admit, most of this, the vast majority, it's probably like 95% of this build is island living. But I did use some cats and dogs things. Can you blame me? cats. Okay, so there's this pack, and then there's cats and dogs and jungle adventure, and together, if you made like a Venn diagram of those three, in the center of those three things is this beach aesthetic, tropical aesthetic perfection. So you can't blame me for using a couple things here and there. Okay? But the thing I used is from neither of those. I used the picnic basket from Outdoor Retreat because I was looking at, I don't remember what I was looking at, but then I saw the coolers and things, and I was like, they're a little too survival because they have like pots and pans and things for camping. But then I saw the picnic basket. I'm like, I would do a beach picnic. Are you crazy? Like, I'm ready. Like, grab my towel, grab my basket. Let's go get sand in our sandwiches. I'm here for it. And so I did a little display with the picnic basket, and I thought that was fun. And then I also, these shelves are one, they're going to be lovely in house builds for sure, but they also looked like great displays for a store. And then when I was looking at the hidden objects, I saw the sunscreen, and I was like, we're going to get real, like a real beachwear store, or like even more. You know, they do the massive sunscreen displays in the summer where there's like 30 million different types of sunscreen and brands and colors, and then each of those has like 4 different sizes and like all the different SPFs. And so I did a like 10% version of that giant sunscreen display. And I left the other shelf empty so that whatever you want your Sims to sell, you still have space. Like, obviously, you can edit this. There's a lot of open floor space that I really like personally. Because I was imagining this as a store. You know, when you see a store and it's just a cool store, and you go in and look around the whole thing, you don't necessarily buy anything. You don't necessarily have even an intention of buying anything, but you just want to be in there, and just because of the experience of it. And that was what I wanted here. So I didn't mind having a ton of open space. Just, I don't know. I thought I like it. I like it a lot. But there is definitely space to add more mannequins or more pool floats, or if you want to sell more patio furniture or lounge chairs. I put 2 lounge chairs on the back, but I don't think I set them for sale. And I don't know if the things set for sale carry over when you download it, so you might have to go around and set things for sale yourself. But I was going to do a lounge chair display out there with the patio display and with the beach towels and all those things. But I was like, no, the beach looks great. Leave it alone. So if you want to sell lounge chairs at your beach or your boat store, have at it. And I put that display like kind of like a car dealership where they jack up a car on a platform. So it's like, look at this fancy car you could own with the aqua zip. And originally I wasn't going to set it for sale because I was like, this is going to be a glitch waiting to happen. But I did set it for sale because, you know, the thing just disappears when you buy it. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be perfect. But screenshots are about to roll through, so I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you think of Island Living. What are you doing? Have you got it yet? Are you waiting? Are you like trembling with excitement, waiting for your chance to play with it? Because that was me all day yesterday. But anyway, I hope you like this build, and I will see you